Hi, so today I'm here with my lovely wife Pippa, and she's going to talk to us all about Baby Basics Folkestone. So Pippa, tell us, how did you get going in the first place?
Oh, thanks, Paul. It's really lovely to have this opportunity to talk about this charity, Baby Basics. So yeah, I used to be an antenatal teacher, and I was running classes all over London at the time. And the parents that I'd meet, we'd often have a reunion, and the parents would be saying to me, what do we do with all this clothes that the baby's grown out of? Or, you know, they never wore this item, I don't know what to do with it. So after a while I started saying, well, why don't you just bring them along next time I see you, and I'll make sure they go where they're needed. And this really developed when we moved to the south coast. We moved to Folkestone, was it 7 years ago? And when we were here, I suddenly realised, gosh, it's exactly the same. I was meeting people at the reunions and they were offering me all sorts of things. So I found out about a local baby bank in Dover and Deal called Baby Basics. So I went along there and I realised, wow, they're doing an amazing job meeting the needs by getting referrals from health professionals and organisations who are in touch with families that need support. And then they were making bundles to go to these families. So really it started from that. I thought, right, so I could either volunteer there or I could perhaps think about starting one in Folkestone. So that's what happened. We decided to start a branch in the town of Folkestone. And so it was the week before the first lockdown, and we basically just got a Facebook page up and running, asking people to consider to donate items to us. And during their half an hour of exercise or whatever it was we were allowed, they would drop things off at our front door, and we would clean them, sort them and get them ready into packages, ready to go out. And that's really how it started. And now we're coming up to our 5th birthday, and we've done about 380 of these parcels, if you like, but they're like hampers filled with all sorts of things like clothing and toiletries, things that the baby will need initially, like a safe place to sleep, so a Moses basket with a new mattress and everything, you know, beautifully cleaned and presented, and also if people need it, a baby bath or other items that they might need.
Oh, lovely. So how has the service been received in that time? So 380 referrals, that's a lot of referrals. I assume it's been going well.
Well, it has. I mean, initially we thought we might do one referral a week, and that's over time we can see that it's definitely got more busy. Maybe it's the cost of living crisis, maybe it's because people know about us more, but we've got about 21 agencies who refer people to us for help. And that might be that they need a pram, or they might need a cot or a cot bed, or it may be that they need this initial package of items like toiletries for mum when she goes into hospital or has the baby, or it could be items, you know, for the child like the clothing and the nappies. Yeah.
So with 21 organisations referring, you must need a huge team to stay on top of it all.
Yeah, it has grown, definitely. So initially it was just 3 people, so you and I and Helen, and we started the branch with those 3, and then over the time we've partnered with a church called Harbour Church, and they have kindly given us some storage space, which has been a tremendous help, so rather than it all being at our house. So also what happened was we needed to expand the team just because of the numbers of clothing that we give out. It's a lot of items per referral, and each of those pieces of clothing need to be washed and ironed and presented beautifully. So yeah, we have a team of volunteers who check prams and cots and cot beds, and also wash and iron all the clothing for us.
So over the time you've gone over the last few years, you've gone from just giving away essentially the bare minimum that a mother would need to keep the child alive to a few extra bits and pieces as well, things like a pram and stuff that.
Yes, that's what we've seen happen, is that actually the need is not just the initial need for the new baby. It could be that this baby's arriving into a family with other children, and now that child who used to have the Moses basket is actually ready for a cot, and the Moses basket is freed up for the new baby, or it could be maybe an older child as well. So we try and help where we can, and this is where perhaps we need to talk about sort of funding, because initially, you know, we were asking people, could you donate prams or could you donate cots to us? But occasionally we get a request for something and we haven't got it in stock. So we do need funds to buy new mattresses for the cots and for the Moses baskets that are donated, but occasionally we do have to go out and buy things from our very, very small budget. But recently, as you know, some organisations have got behind us and really, really been significant in the amount of money that they've donated to us as a charity. So that's enabled us to buy things when we've run out of donations at times.
That's great. That must be a real relief for you as someone that's organising it and someone's trying to fill that need. That must be a huge relief to know that you've got those that money and those resources to fall back on should you need it.
Yeah, I mean, we have a tiny budget, so any help is really gratefully received. So sometimes it's an individual who gives us £5 a month. Sometimes it's a one-off gift from someone putting on a concert for us, or it might be literally like a cake sale. So we've had nurseries help us and schools, Harvest Festival collections for us, all sorts of things, and then some larger donations from organisations like the Rotary Club and all sorts of Women's Institute groups have been really helpful to us, so many groups.
So if people did want to donate or help in other ways, how can they do that?
Yeah, so there is a link on our Facebook page, and we're also on Instagram. So if people look for Baby Basics Folkestone, they can find a link. So there's a direct sort of giving button that you can contact us to give a gift, and we really, really appreciate that. So as I said, it can really make a difference between helping a family or not helping. And up to this point, we've been able to help all the families that have been requested. And the other ways to help are if someone wants to volunteer or has an item to donate, then perhaps they could get in touch. But maybe even more important is that people talk about what we do, so that they can share with other people that there is an organisation locally that can help.
Right. Do you think that the need that's there at the moment for young families to get them started and get them on a good footing, do you think that need will be there for a while, or is this a short-term thing, do you think?
I think we need to be responsive to the needs that are there at the moment. I do think the cost of living has really impacted people. So it could be a family who've had other children and then given perhaps away the items that they needed for a newborn, and then found that they're having another baby. So they're starting from scratch. So yeah, there's all sorts of different reasons. Maybe it's a very young parent who needs everything. Maybe it's a grandparent looking after a newborn grandchild. There are so many different sort of circumstances that we come across. I don't see that need changing. Obviously we hope that people's circumstances improve, and it has been lovely to see that some families who've received items from us have actually donated them back to us when they've been in a better position.
That's great.
Yeah, it is a lovely sort of way of keeping that circle of the community helping the community. So I think it's always been there in some form, but Baby Basics as a baby bank enables us to do it in a more organised perhaps way. And certainly if you look at the operations manual, you'll see there's lots of ways that we're organised into providing a really excellent service.
Lovely, that's great. Well, Pippa, thank you ever so much for joining me this afternoon, and I hope Baby Basics goes from strength to strength.
Thanks, Paul.